Now that the smoke is cleared and despite a valiant effort from Virginia, it is indeed the Hokies of Virginia Tech headed to Charlotte December 3rd to face off with Clemson in the ACC Championship game, a matchup that we saw earlier this year, October 1 in Blacksburg, that did not end up very well for Virginia Tech. Clemson went in there, pretty much handed them a beatdown, Dorsey. Any reason to suspect anything different this time around?
Yeah, a lot of reasons to expect a lot of different things. That was a long time ago. We have two different teams going in two different directions. Since that game, Clemson has lost 2 games. Virginia Tech has gone on to win the rest of their games. Biggest difference, quarterback Logan Thomas. Only 125 yards passing that game. He was sacked 4 times, did not have a good outing. Since then, we've watched him mature. He's gotten better and better every week. He's gotten more comfortable in his offense, more comfortable with his wide receivers, and he's playing lights out right now.
He's only thrown 2 picks, 14 touchdowns since that game, but you know, you would know better than I would. Is that typical for a quarterback to experience that much growth in such a short time?
It usually is for younger quarterbacks, you know, because he hasn't played a whole lot. He hasn't had any game experience. So the more comfortable he becomes with that offense, with his receivers, with the coaching staff, the more you'll see him grow. And I think the biggest jump is the first time they play that freshman year or whatever year you begin to play. That's when you see the most progress.
Let's get position specific here for a second. You cool with that? At quarterback, I see you're pretty high on Logan Thomas. Taj Boyd, Logan Thomas in this game. Who you going with?
You know, if you asked me this five weeks ago, Taj Boyd would have been my answer, hands down. He's playing lights out. Would have been my pick for ACC Player of the Year. But since then, he's cooled down a little bit, and like we talked about, Logan Thomas is a touchdown-making machine. He's the guy who's playing his best at the end of the season, and that's what you need to move forward toward the end of the season.
All right, at the running back position, when you look at Andre Ellington, he's been banged up some this year, but when he's played, he's been among the best. But speaking of the best, David Wilson happens to be running the football for Virginia Tech. Who you taking there? You
know, I love Andre Ellington and what he's done for Clemson. I also love their backup Bellamy. But David Wilson is the best running back in the ACC, one of the best running backs in the country. He has, hands down, not even close. He has all the attributes of a great running back. He's going to be a great NFL running back one day. Advantage goes to Virginia Tech.
No shortage of talent at the wide receiver position for either team, really. Got a bunch of studs. But who would you take at that position?
You know, for Virginia Tech, I love Jared Boykins. I love Danny Cole. But on the Clemson side, Taj Boyd has so many weapons to throw the ball to. We talk about Sammy Watkins, probably the best freshman wide receiver in the country. DeAndre Hopkins, Dwayne Allen is probably the best tight end this year in college football.
He'll be a good pro.
Yeah, just the receiving core from top to bottom is very solid.
All right, I guess maybe the most important aspect of this game, defense. I got a feeling who you might take. Who you going with?
I'm going to go with VT. You know, 12th overall right now. Clemson's been struggling a little bit lately, getting up a whole bunch of points. So I'm going to go with VT defensively.
All right, Dorsey, by my count, it's 3-1 VT. You did show Clemson receivers some love. They got the edge in one category for you. Who you taking overall?
I have to go with Virginia Tech. Like we talked about, 2 different teams going in 2 different directions. Clemson was the hot team. They've cooled off right now. VT is a hotter team moving forward. Got to go with Virginia Tech.
I'm going to go with Clemson. They got Sammy Watkins back. He's the difference in the game. Special teams. You know how Frank Beamer values that. Sammy Watkins is going to give it to him. Not that anybody cares what I think.